Hi guys, this is my review of my 4 STEM resources. So I started with the movie Hidden Figures. I know we didn't have to stick to the movies on the list, but when I saw this one was on there, I was super excited because it's one I've always wanted to see but never got around to watching. So an overview is it's based on a true story. It follows 3 Black women who work for NASA. Each one of them has kind of a specific skill that makes them invaluable to the NASA program. Throughout the movie, they face discrimination because of their race and their gender, and they persevere through the discrimination to reach their goals, and they help NASA in the space race. Why watch the movie? Well, first of all, it was super inspiring. It was very cool that it was a true story. I always find true stories a little bit more engaging and interesting because you know that this happened in real life. Um, Plus, it's just awesome to see these women kind of rock it out in the STEM world. How does it cultivate my STEM identity? Again, for me, the true story aspect really helped because it was like here was someone's real world experience. I also think it was cool because there was a couple times where like they easily could have been defeated, but instead of kind of having that fixed mindset of I can't do it, they all kind of showed that growth mindset of I can't do it yet. So they worked to get to that point where they could do it and they succeeded. So I think that's where it kind of helped cultivate my STEM identity. For the podcast, I chose Her STEM Story. The podcast is hosted by Prasha Dutra, a woman in STEM. She has female guests each week that come on and discuss their experiences in STEM. They share their stories and give tips and advice to other women who dream about being in the STEM industry. So the podcast each, while I listen to it, they're about, I think, 40 to 60 minutes, I think, for each episode. There's 100 episodes. So there's pretty quick listens. You can put it on while you're driving in the car or while you're doing stuff around the house and listen. Um, Again, it was super inspiring. Again, it's real world experiences, which to me is kind of invaluable. They talked about, I have a couple of things here written down that they talked about how shows like The Big Bang Theory kind of portray women in STEM in not a great light, which I think is like the point of this podcast is kind of to break those stereotypes. That's the one episode that I really enjoyed. It was called Breaking Stereotypes While Excelling in STEM. And there was one quote that stuck out to me from the woman that she interviewed, and she just kept saying, I was capable. And it was like, even though people might have told her she wasn't, or she wasn't sure if she was, she said, I am capable. And to me, again, that kind of helps cultivate my STEM identity. It's that growth mindset. It's that, you know, even though other people might be saying I can't, I know I can, I know I'm capable. The book I chose was The Woman Who Smashed Codes. I found this on Audible, so I listened to, I think, the first 3 chapters, but I really enjoyed it, so I will keep listening to the rest of the book. It's based on a true story. It's based on the life of Elizabeth Smith. She was a talented code breaker who used her skills to identify Nazi spies during World War II. Her husband, William Friedman, also worked as a cryptologist. He worked to break the Enigma machines that Japan was using to communicate with Germany. It chronicles their life and work, which greatly affected our modern intelligence. So why read the book? Again, it's a real world true story. Um, again, there's more to it. It's not just the story of, the code breaking itself or the cryptology. It's about their life together. So it does, there is kind of a love story aspect to it, which is nice if you like that kind of thing. Who doesn't love a nice love story? But again, it was super interesting to see this woman overcome all of these obstacles and all of these things that easily could have shut her down and made her think, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to work hard. Again, how does it cultivate my STEM identity? So it's kind of a long quote, but it really kind of stuck out to me. I am never quite so gleeful as when I am doing something labeled as an ought not. Why is it? Why am I abnormal? Why should something with a risk in it give me an exuberant feeling inside me? I don't know what it is, unless it is that characteristic which makes so many people remark that I should have been born a man. And I think that kind of goes along. I guess I kind of have a theme here about women in STEM, but I think it kind of goes along with these other things where it's like so many women could have decided to give up because, again, they were told that they couldn't or they weren't good enough or they weren't a man. To me, it's like, why are we assuming that just because she's talented and has these talents that it's because she's like a man? That doesn't matter. She is just as talented by herself. So I also like the book because it's more about her. It's not so much about her husband. It's more about her and the things that she did, which I think is really awesome. And again, motivates me as a woman, again, who's trying to teach STEM to my students to help foster that in my students as well. And then the place I chose was the Whitaker Center. It's located on Market Street in Harrisburg. It has attractions, live events, shows, and movies. They have a Harsco Science Center there, which is STEM-based learning with hands-on activities for kids of all ages, and they include STEM workshops as well. So I also found a quote from their website. Our STEM design studios are now open to offer all Science Center visitors the opportunity to get hands-on with different STEM topics. Adults and kids will meet a STEM educator and be introduced to the day's inquiry-based challenge. Small groups will have time to design, test, and refine their projects to fulfill the posed requirements. These engaging activities will allow parents and kids to explore STEM topics together, learning as a team, get hands-on with design challenges using circuits, tangrams, and Connects, enjoy activities and design challenges with Ozobots, Spheros, and 3Doodler 3D printing pens. So again, it sounds like they're using the engineering design process, which is awesome. Oops, and I just realized I left this in there as why listen to the podcast. That should have said why visit the center. Again, it has a lot of STEM-based activities, which are awesome. For me, it's super close. I didn't visit it this time again because I wasn't sure what COVID protocols were, but I used to go there all the time when I was a kid, and I loved it. And I think it sounds like it's just getting better. How does it cultivate my STEM identity? Again, I could see myself taking my students here someday. I love that they have STEM-based challenges. Again, that it's following that engineering design process. Again, it's kind of like a great way to engage your students in those activities and let them know that they're capable of solving those problems, redesigning, all those types of things. They also, I noticed they have on September 22nd, they actually have a Women in STEM awards program where they're going to nominate and award local women who are making gains in the STEM industry, which is awesome. So I hope you enjoyed my resources. Check them out for yourself.